There is a perfect built-in stretch stitch for knit fabrics, lycras, everything. And here is how I want you to pick it. I'm going to show you which stitch it is, but we're going to use the Sewing Advisor to tell the machine what kind of fabric we're working on so we have the best results when we stitch. So first off, it is stitch number 3. So if I just pick that, it picks the stitch. It actually is set to be in the far left needle position. You can move that if you want. But let's just peek at something real quick here. In this area, it is showing thread portioning, which is why it says 50 instead of like a normal tension number, which is like 4.6. So in this area though, there is this white toggle switch. The toggle switch means that there's something underneath it, and when we touch it, it toggles to stitch the foot pressure. It changes to foot pressure. So right now, the normal pressure on a woven medium fabric is 6, which is fine, but if I knew, I could reduce it right there. But what if I didn't know that that should be reduced? I'm going to go back to a normal straight stitch. I'm going to start by going to the fabric swatch in the top left corner, or you can touch the Joy OS sewing machine function right here where it takes it to the advisor. And you can go to stretch medium. Then go ahead and touch seam. When you pick the fabric and the technique, it still picks that stitch. I'm going to minimize the little tutorial that pops up. But let's look at the pressure. The pressure actually changes. It reduces it down. So when we actually go to the stitch itself, the foot is going to be much lighter. It's almost kind of loose right now. And as we start to stitch. Now while I'm stitching, let's just talk real quick. It does recommend a stretch needle size 90. There are stretch needles that come with this machine, so put one on if you don't have any others. But a stretch needle will help, especially if you're working with lycra or something with a rubbery substance to that fabric here. Now normally if I would have just sewed this would have come out slightly stretched and a little wavy. But look how flat it is on the bed of the machine. By having the machine remind me, not forget, to reduce that pressure, the foot just kind of glided across it, so not to stretch it out. We didn't have to put a walking foot on. We can just change the pressure of the foot. So if you are in the habit of starting to use your Sewing Advisor, you and your machine are going to be like this in no time flat. Now just a reminder, if you are using your Sewing Advisor and you're like, okay, now I'm done and I'm going back to a straight stitch, look, it still remembers the last fabric that you used. So do remember to go back. The default setting for fabric should be and is the woven medium. So as you go to that point and then just do a start new, that settings, that puts everything back to normal, including the pressure. So keep that in mind if you leave it on like a stretch heavy or some of those other fabrics, that pressure might not be as normal as you're used to. So just go ahead, remember to do that, but note when you're having trouble, if your machine or your fabric isn't being stitched the way you like it, go through the Sewing Advisor and tell it what you're doing and it will do the rest for you.